Morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good. Good morning. We have a couple more people. I didn't want you to think I was ignoring you. I'm just sending an email real quick. Hopefully. I don't know who I just sent an email to. Weird. All right. We'll get started in just a minute. It's We Share Wednesday. I know you're excited. Does anyone want to share anything? It can be good, it can be bad, it could be boring, it could be whatever you want. Ever since break, you guys are much quieter. Like you don't want to share anymore. You're like, we're done. We're done with all of this. I don't know what is happening anymore.
I don't have anything interesting that's happened. Everything exciting happened already.
Well, I'm sure you have little fun things every single day with the baby.
Oh yes, and lots of crying because the toddler is trying to act like a baby now on purpose.
Right.
Yep.
That's
She
always
says,
fun.
I'm a baby, and then she'll lay there and fake cry. So it's fun.
And so then you pick her favorite thing, whatever her favorite thing is, and you go, babies don't get to do that. Only big girls get to do that. Sorry. So if you're a baby, you have to go take a nap. Goodbye.
True.
I did all those things. Like when my kids decided they wanted to act like a dog, I was like, dogs sleep outside. Good luck.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
So, parent of the year right here.
That's right. Hey,
Thanks,
whatever
Ricky.
works,
You
right?
like that? Yeah, hey, whatever. And you don't eat at the table with us, right? If you're a dog, you eat on the floor. Bye-bye.
That's hilarious.
We had a lot of fun in our house, for sure. You guys are like, you are a crazy parent. I'm pretty sure that is child abuse. No, it was one day, and I was like, you're fine, right? Yeah, it's true. Okay, so I do have something to share as soon as I figure it out what it is. I didn't check all of you in when you got here, so I have to do it now. Zevy's here. Sheena's here. Is Vanessa here? Yes. Lily's here. V, Matt, Rookie. Did I see Josh? Yes. All right.
Like your
so
hat, Matt.
Yeah, Matt, were you going to share your hat?
Well, I mean, I was just, gonna just show up every single class with the new hat on. So that's my plan. I have a bunch of hats, so every single day I'll be wearing a new one.
Nice. Love it.
This is my lifeguard hat though. With my
I
job.
could tell. I could tell it was your lifeguard hat. I'm a detective sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
My spare time. Brady, I like your hat. It's pink. Nice.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, it's a Corona hat.
Oh, well,
Cozumel.
there you go. Excellent. Okay, anyone else have anything to share?
I got my hair done. I don't know if everyone's noticed.
Yes. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my update.
My niece just posted on Instagram that she goes, let's do denim for a while. Her hair is that color of denim. I didn't know that was a thing.
That's cool.
But it is. It looks good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. I feel like I won the lottery because I got vaccination appointments for all my kids. Nice. Yeah. Amazing. Shocking. So apparently, first of all, I'm kind of obsessive compulsive that I'm on their texting list. So they text me whenever they have new openings. It's true. But every Friday at 11 a.m., they open new vaccination appointments, just in case you need to know that. So you can get an appointment if that's your thing. So I was a little worried to get my 17-year-old vaccinated, not because of the vaccine, but because he can only get Pfizer then, because it's the only one that's approved. So then I couldn't get an appointment for him, but I did it. So we're good. So 2 of them got their first dose on Sunday, and the other one is getting his first dose tomorrow. So by May, all 6 of us will be vaccinated. You're going to get yours on Saturday. Nice. Where are you going? Because I had to go to Phoenix Municipal Stadium. Is where I had to go.
So I know like the people who volunteer, so they're gonna call me, and since people don't show up, it's like the elementary school Emerson. So when people don't show up, they'll just call me and I'll just drive there, since I know like the people who are organizing everything.
That's awesome. And I know a lot of people who went up north because up north they had more access, like at their parents' cabin or something like that. So
I got
all right. You got yours, Matt?
Yep.
Where did you have to go? Did you have to go to State Farm Stadium?
Well, I don't remember where I went. I went kind of somewhere far out of the way in Gilbert, I think. So, yep.
Nice. Excellent. Did anyone get the Johnson & Johnson vaccine? I'm just curious because I don't know anyone who's gotten it. I just take a survey. We have about half of my family who's had Pfizer and the other half has had Moderna, but nobody's got the Johnson & Johnson. So I was just wondering.
Anyone getting the Johnson & Johnson?
Yeah, I don't know anybody who's gotten it. I mean, I saw some random people in the grocery store getting it, but I don't think they count because I didn't know them, right? I was only counting people I knew.
I feel like they're not rolling that one out in priority because of the lower effectivity, like, or how successful they've been with that one. So, I mean, I'd rather get the other 2. I got Moderna, so.
Yeah, I don't care. I got Pfizer, but actually every single person in my family got Pfizer, which is weird because one of them is in Omaha, Nebraska, and he got Pfizer. So weird. I'm talking like my immediate 6 here. Okay, enough about the vaccine. Let's share something else. I'm going to share with you something that MCC is doing. I know I would normally do it on We Share. No, it's not We Share Thursday. It's Thunderbird Thursday. But I'm sharing it today because it is happening tomorrow. So that's why I'm sharing it today. Let me go back there. Sorry if that makes you dizzy. Okay, right here. Student Life is going to be handing out meal kit food bags to students at Southern and Dobson Thursday, April 1st from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Okay, so if you ever wanted to order like HelloFresh or Dinnerly or any of those things, yeah, well, here's your chance to try it for free. It's not Dinnerly or HelloFresh. It's a meal kit. I think it's just one meal kit, but it's a recipe and the ingredients to make a meal for 4. And these meal kits were put together by Rhodes Junior High students. that are in the College Bound program. So, and it tells you where you go to get it, and you call when you get there, and you sign up for this food bag with this link. So I'm going to put the link in the chat so you have it, because it's like a Sign Up Genius link. And the reason I'm doing it is because I don't know about you, but I always wanted to try one of those. And this way you could try a meal for free, or just get a meal for free. Even if it's not for you that you're going to use it, maybe you know somebody who could use it, right? So you have to sign up to get it, and then you can go get it. And then we'll talk more about, because we do have We Care Wednesdays always, and those next Wednesday we have food pickup if you want food distribution. So I just wanted to share that today because it was exciting. Anyone else have anything they want to share?
I finally got a Switch a few days ago, which I'm super happy about.
Nice. What games did you get, or game?
I just got the 35th anniversary for Mario and then Super Smash Bros. So I can play with my friends.
Yeah, how could you not get Smash, right? Like, that's the thing. My kids play all the time, except for my kids don't really want to play with me because I'm so bad. I mean, when they want to entertain themselves, sometimes they ask me to play. I am terrible at it, and I cannot get any better. But maybe
Yeah,
it's because I devote no time to it.
It's
That might be it. It is a super fun game. Yeah, I agree. Well, good. Josh, that's exciting. Okay, I did just send you guys all an email about my office hours tonight. Did you get it? So sorry about that. I have 9 midterms. I give oral midterms, and so I have 9 oral midterms I have to give today. So with the craziness of last week, I had to cram them all in today, or those that are left. And so I have midterms booked between 7:30 and 8:30 when I would normally do office hours. So I just bumped them up. I'm going to do it from 6 to 6:50. So if you need me, I'll be on office hours from 6 to 6:50 just tonight. Okay. All right. So anyone, anything else to share?
My neck is finally better. I can
Yay!
mostly.
That took a long time, Lee.
Yeah. I wore a neck brace for a while because I'm, it also involved my spine, so I was like, oh, this kind of sucks.
Yeah, that sounds awful. I feel like back injuries and neck injuries are like the worst.
Okay,
My back hurt one day and I thought I was gonna die. I was like, I'm out. This is awful. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I bought a whole new chair after my back hurt one day. I have a very low tolerance for pain, apparently. All right. So let's talk about yesterday's assignment that you did in class, and that you turned in online. Unless you finished it in class, I went over it with you. First of all, some of you did not turn it in. So I could not give you full credit because you did not complete it. So I gave you half credit because you participated in class, but since I didn't get it, you didn't get the other half. But what I did do is, here is my solution. Okay, so if you want to review those, if you access it through OneNote, I don't know how many of you use OneNote, but we have a class notebook, right, with everything in it. So if you ever want to use OneNote, you can access it there. The other place you can access it is in Canvas, in our modules. In our week 10 module, I have a thing called slides. And so it would be in our conditional probability slides. And if you go down, here's a link to the example problems we did in class. And then down here, here's the worksheet we started in class, but do you see that in blue? There's a little blue hyperlink that says key. So that's on Canvas already. So you can access it either place. So that might help you if you were struggling with some of those things. Okay. All right. So that's there for you. I want to go back to our slides. All right. So let's try this for warm up. So we had a table like this yesterday, but now I'm just going to ask you a different question. So, and you're going to put it in the chat. You should write everything, the probability statement and the answer as a simplified fraction, I want all three of these, a fraction, a decimal to 4 places, and a percent to the nearest tenth. Okay, so I want all three of those things. Okay, and on the quiz that you take, sometimes I ask for the fraction, sometimes I ask for the percent, sometimes I ask for the decimal. So make sure you know how to give me all three of those. Okay, so do this problem. I'll give you about probably a whole minute because this might take you a little bit longer, and get it ready in the chat. But don't hit enter yet. Are you guys ready yet? Anyone need more time? Okay, I'll give you a few more seconds, like 30 more.
All right, I'm done.
All right, everybody ready? Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
This is mine. I had to type it out again.
Oh, that's fine.
That button doesn't work.
All right. So let's take a look. So the question said the probability that the student was female given they earned a C. So Annie has a really nice probability statement written there. So does Tashina. It was just abbreviated. That's okay. And then a lot of you have the fraction 9/11. Some of you have the fraction 9/31. Let's think about which one has to be correct. So if we go off the probability statement, The one after the line is the C. So we need to look at how many students earned a C. So when you look at your table, is that number 11 or is that number 31? Yeah, it's 11, okay? So remember, what comes after the line is the denominator of your fraction. So it should be 9/11. Now, let's talk about the decimal and the percent. On the decimal, it was 0.81818181, and it kept repeating. So if I want to stop at 4 decimal places, a lot of you put 0.8181. Is that what it would be if I was rounding? What would it be if I was rounding?
0.82.
0.8182.
Yeah, it's
Yeah? 0.8182. And then as a percent, a lot of you got that right, 81.8%. Okay, so just make sure you're real careful on that. Here it is right here, right? So 9/11, which is 0.8182 or 81.8%. Now, the reason I'm making such a big deal out of that rounding part is on the quiz. I previewed the quiz again today to make sure I gave you accurate information. Sometimes I ask you for the fraction. Sometimes I ask you for the decimal rounded to a variety of places. And sometimes I ask you for a percent. So my recommendation is you write everything down on your paper like I did here on this screen. So then if you make a rounding error, let's say you put on the quiz 0.8181, right? But on your paper, you don't have anything written down. I'm not giving you any partial credit. Okay, you need to show me that you got 0.81818181, and then you just made a rounding error, right? So make sure you show me this work on the paper. Okay, otherwise you're going to be mad when you forget little tiny things. Okay, okay. Any questions on that? Those of you that got 9/31, do you understand why it's not 9/31? Okay, all right. So today we're going to talk a little bit about dependent events. Okay, so first of all, you already did this PC more practice, or I should say some of you did, because I looked at your grades and not everybody did it. Okay, so if you didn't finish, you'll be glad to know I opened it again until tonight. So you could go back in and fix it. Yeah, so or start it, as the case may be for some of you. Okay, now that being said, my last class just told me a weird thing, and it relates to this topic we're doing today, that some of the videos gave a formula that we've never talked about. It was a formula using C, and it was like 5 choose 2 or something. It's a combination formula. I don't know why that video is on that problem, because you can do that problem without that formula, and we don't do that formula until like PC6 or PC7. So if you ever run into a problem like that where the video doesn't match or the video didn't help you, please send me that question, right? Click the Ask My Instructor, because I can get that changed by our programmers, and I don't want it there if it's not helpful. So remember, this product is free to you, and it's because we wrote it, right? And so we can also make changes to it. So if you guys help me out with that, I can make sure that videos get in there that are helpful to you. Okay, so don't worry about that formula. You can do a problem like this without that formula, and we'll talk about that formula later. And after today, I think you could go do those problems in case you struggled figuring them out. So a dependent event is when the outcome of one event does affect the outcome of the other event. So remember, on Monday, we talked about independent events where it did not affect it. But then yesterday, we kind of did a little bit of review, and some of you got kind of tricked on the problem where it was like we tossed a coin twice, or we did roll the dice now, and the last 3 times we rolled a 1. what happens. So those are independent events. Anytime we're tossing a coin or rolling a dice, those are independent events because it doesn't matter what I got on the previous flips or tosses. Now we're going to talk about dependent events where it will matter. So an example is when you're picking cards, okay? If it doesn't say you put it back in the deck, or even if it says, what's the probability that you get 5 of the same suit or 5 of the same color, something like that, then those are dependent events. So things are going to change. The formula for dependent events are when we're actually going to multiply. So the probability of A, that's from PC1, right? We know how to find the probability of an event happening. But now, for that second event happening or that next event happening, we're going to multiply it by the probability of B given A, which is conditional probability, which is what we just talked about yesterday. Okay, so let's look at an example. Of course, I have a worksheet for you. You don't have to make a copy, but it might be nice just to have for a reference. But sorry, I have too many things open and that worksheet went away. Okay, so, but this has all the problems that we're going to work on right now on it. So at least open it so you can view it. Because when you go in your breakout rooms, you won't have it otherwise. Okay. So, and the key will be linked in the slides after class. Oh, I better erase that. Hold on. So get that document. And we're going to do the first problem on it. Okay. So on this first problem, it says, two cards are drawn from a standard deck of cards. What's the probability that both cards are red? Write your answer as a fraction, a decimal to 4 places, and a percent to the nearest tenth. So why this is a dependent event is once I'm picking one card, if that card is red, there's not that many red cards in the deck anymore. There's one less, and there's one less card in the deck. Okay, so we have to think about that. So if we're doing this probability, we would say the probability of getting a red card and a red card. Well, that's going to be equal to the probability of a red card times the probability of a red card given that the other card was red. Okay, because that's what we want to happen. We want both of the cards to be red. Well, how many red cards are in a deck of cards?
26.
Very nice, 26. Half of them are red, right? And if you don't remember cards, you can pull up that probability formula sheet. So 26 out of 52 are red. Now, if I picked that card and it was red, because that's my conditional probability, how many cards are in the deck now? There's not 52 anymore.
51.
Yeah, there's only 51 cards in the deck. And how many of those cards are red now? 25. Very nice. So that's the actual formula for the probability. Does that make sense? Does everybody know why I got changed the 26 to a 25 and the 52 to a 51?
I have a question. So why is it 25 and not 24 if you took 2 cards out? Are you just taking 1 card out?
Yeah, see, I'm taking 1 card out here, and then I'm going to take the second card out here.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yeah, good question. And I noticed that some of you are struggling. By the way, I graded all those worksheets that you turned in yesterday. So make sure you look at my feedback on those because it would help you. And I posted the key. But some of you are having trouble with the simplified fraction. So we're going to do this problem using the Desmos calculator. So I'm going to say 26 over 52. I'm going to arrow over. I'm going to hit times 25 over 51. It gives me the decimal. So I have the decimal right here. 0.245. What would I say my last digit is? Zero 0.2451, right? I would have to put a 1 there because it's a 9 after it. So I'm going to change the 0 to a 1. Okay, but here's the best button ever. Everybody pay attention to this because you know that you can access Desmos calculator on the test. So if you click this little circle right here, Lee, you got this? If you click this little circle right here, it gives you the simplified fraction, 25 over 102. It's right there for you. You didn't have to do the math. It simplifies it for you, okay? So if you don't put in the simplified fractions, Canvas is going to mark it wrong, yeah? And if you don't have any work shown on your paper, I'm not going to give you partial credit. Okay, so, and you can just click it and get your decimal, click it and get your fraction. So now our answer would be 25 over 102, right? That's what we just got on Desmos, or 0.2451. We talked about that, or 24.5%. Everybody okay with that? So it's not much different than it was before, but you have to keep track. Do I need to reduce my numerator and my denominator by 1, or what's happening, right? All right, let's look at the next problem. This should be the second problem on your worksheet. It's about Tony. Read through that problem and make sense of it. I'm going to give you about a minute to read through it and tell me what we're trying to find after that minute. So I'm going to give you a minute to think through it. All right, who can tell me what we're supposed to find in this?
The probability of the cookie he's gonna eat.
Yeah, what are we trying to find? The probability of what cookies?
Peanut butter, right? Or no?
Just
Yeah.
peanut butter?
What's the other one?
Sugar cookie.
Yeah.
Sugar cookie. Wait, a sugar cookie or peanut butter?
Both.
Both.
Both. Does it matter which one came first?
Well, the
Peanut
peanut butter.
butter first.
Yes, it does matter because it'll change
Ah,
the next amount.
Yeah, it will. So we want the probability that we get a peanut butter, wait, that we get a peanut butter, no. We want to find the probability that we get a sugar cookie, right? given that the first one we ate was peanut butter. Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay, so really, I'm going to rewrite this. I'm going to write it as probability of a peanut butter first and then a sugar cookie. And so we're going to write it as that's the probability of peanut butter times the probability of sugar given peanut butter. How's that sound? Does that look good?
Yes.
Okay, now, first of all, does anything about this problem annoy you? Tashina?
Having to write it like that.
Having to write it like that, yeah. But Tony bothers me more. What kind of monster puts oatmeal cookies in with their other cookies? That is just poisoning the whole bag. I'm just saying. Like, get a separate bag for those garbage cookies. And by the way, I'd never buy them.
Oh, well.
Who loves oatmeal cookies? Oh my gosh, there are a couple of you that are just super offended right now.
Than peanut butter cookies, because if I eat peanut butter cookies, I'll die. So.
So Tony just poisoned you because he put them in the same bag.
It doesn't matter what cookie I take, I'm most likely gonna die some way or another.
Yes, so that's terrible, right? So, and Matt, I feel your pain. Mine isn't that I'm gonna physically die. Mine is just my heart is gonna be broken because I touched an oatmeal cookie.
I'm just wondering why he's grabbing random cookies.
Especially if there's raisins in them. Tell me, is there anyone else out there who hates oatmeal raisin cookies? Thank you, Zebby. We can be the villains. Thank you, Brady. Okay, because have you ever gotten an oatmeal raisin that you thought was a chocolate chip and you bit into it and then you were like,
oatmeal raisin cookies that look like chocolate chip cookies is the reason I have trust issues.
You should be able to tell the difference between a raisin and a chocolate chip. One of them's shiny and the other one looks like a bumpy old man.
Lee, if we were face to face, I would bring you some in and I would trick you.
Look like a bumpy old man.
Yeah, I could trick you, Lee. If we were face to face, it's true. Anyway, it's okay. Yeah, where does everybody buy cookies? Do we buy them at Crumble Cookies? Have you been to Crumble? I drove by it. Does that count? And I've seen people's posts on Instagram. Does that count? I feel like they're expensive, so I just make my own cookies. You did. Can you not bake at all?
I've tried doing it. I just can't. It never turns out good. So I've given up.
Cake mix cookies are my favorite cookie. Have you ever made cake mix cookies? Cheap, cheap, cheap. Yeah, all you need is cake mix, an egg, and a little cup of applesauce. Yeah, you're good to go. Okay, enough about Tony and his life problems. And Matt, I'm so sad for you. I will eat as many cookies as you need me to, as long as they're not oatmeal. Okay. Josh, I'll give Josh all the oatmeal ones. Who else was it? Josh, Lee, who else likes the oatmeal one? See, if we were in class, I would bring in cookies and we would totally have them. It's true. Okay. So what's the probability that we get a peanut butter cookie? Let's just do the easy part first, right?
9/28.
Yeah, how did you get that, Rookie?
Total cookies is 28. There's a 9 of them is peanut butter cookie.
How many of you agree with Rookie? Yeah, you're like, thank goodness Rookie did the math because I didn't really want to add up all those cookies, but it really was 28. Yeah. Okay, now we're going to multiply it by the probability that we get a sugar given that Tony already ate a peanut butter cookie. So how many sugar cookies are in the bag? 7, very nice. Now, what is my denominator of this second fraction going to be?
27.
It's only 27. Lee, why is it only 27?
Because Tony, the little heathen, only ate 1.
Yeah. Tony ate 1, so there were 28, but now there's 27. Does that make sense? Okay, now, do you see how this problem could be very different if I said, what's the probability he ate a sugar cookie and then gets another sugar cookie? Because then it would be 7/28 times 6/27. right? And if I changed it to the oatmeal or whatever, like the problem can change. So you have to think about it when you do it. Okay, so now that you know how to do it mathematically, you can use Desmos. I want the fraction, decimal, and percent. Watch your rounding, and we're going to put it in the chat. So literally, this should just be calculator button pushing. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds. Okay, you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Look at your answers compared to everybody else's. See who's right, who had a little typo issue. I think we have some decimal problems going on here. Okay, so be careful with that. Let's take a look. You should have gotten 1/12. It looks like everybody got 1/12, which is nice. But when you divide that on a calculator, some of you are having issues with where your 0 is. Do you see there's a decimal point, but then there's a 0 to the right of the decimal? So it's 0.0833. Do you see that? That's very different than 0.833. So be careful. And then it's 8.3%. Do you guys see what I'm talking about? Okay, so I know sometimes it's hard because whatever your screen is small or whatever, but try to be really precise on where your decimal point is and where your zeros are. Okay. All right, so it's not 83.3%, right? It's just 8.3%.
Yeah, it's typo.
Okay, good, because 83% would be like there's a huge probability that you're going to get a sugar cookie, but that doesn't make a lot of sense because there's not that many sugar cookies in the bag, right?
Yeah, it was typo.
Okay. Good. Yeah, no, you're not the only one, Ruki, so you're fine. I just want to make sure, and that's why writing it on your paper is going to be important because then I can give you partial credit for that. Okay, so now you have some more problems, right? This is the one that was on your homework, I think, that had maybe that funny formula on it. So let's make sense of this one. 5 cards are drawn from a standard deck of cards. What's the probability that all the cards are black? Okay, so first of all, we need to know what we're really doing is we're finding the probability that the cards are black, 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 black. And some of you do not know decks of cards at all, which is fine. That's why I have that probability formula sheet. But the black suits are spades and clubs, right? And half of the deck is black cards and the other half is red cards, okay? So we want the probability that the first card we get is black, the second card we get is black, the third card, the fourth card, and the fifth card. So when we first pick a card from the deck, there's 26 out of 52 that are black, yes? But then once I have that first card and it's black, what is my next fraction going to be?
25/51.
Very nice, 25/51. And then that card I said was black because that's what we're looking for, the probability. So what's my next fraction? 24 out of 50. Thanks, Zevi. Do you notice what we're doing? We're decreasing our numerator and our denominator by 1 because we're taking out a black card each time, which means we don't have as many cards in the deck, and we also don't have as many black cards in the deck. So then we're going to go 23 times 49 times 22 over 48. Does that make sense? Do you see how I didn't need a fancy formula to do that? I can do it on my calculator. Now, let's check and make sure Desmos doesn't blow up when we put that in there, right? Because sometimes your calculators blow up, I know that. So let's do 26 over 52 times 25 over 51 times 24 out of, oh, hello, look what I'm doing. Times 24 out of 50 times 23 out of 49 times 22 out of 48. So I have my decimal, right? Already, it didn't blow up, which is good. So 0.253, and I'm going to leave it a 3 because there's a 1 to the right, so I don't have to worry about it. And then all you have to do is hit this little fraction. And I get 253 over 9,996. Not too bad, right? Now, probably you didn't want to write it all down on your paper, but you'll do it so you get credit, right? So you don't make a mistake. Okay, so does that help you understand those problems a little better? And if we look at the decimal, so that would be what, 2.5%? So there's only a 2.5% chance that when I pick 5 cards, they're all going to be black cards. Now, notice if I would have said, what's the probability they're all red cards, I would get the exact same result, right? Yeah, I would get the exact same result. Now, would I get the same result if I said, what's the probability that they're all hearts? Would I get the same result? No. Do you think the probability would be higher or lower? If I said, what's the probability of getting all hearts?
I think it's lower.
I think lower.
Yeah, it would be lower, right? The likelihood would be less. So what is that called in poker when they're all the same suit? Is it called a flush? Does anybody play poker? A straight, I thought a straight was when there had to be an order, like 9, 10, jack, queen, king. Oh, maybe it's not. Maybe it is a
counting
straight.
in order.
Lee, what is it?
A straight is when you're counting in order from like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or so on and so forth.
Yeah, so I think it's called a flush. I'm gonna go with that. I don't play poker,
There's
but
no
I know there's
specific order.
probability in it. Yeah, like a royal flush is like amazing, right? I feel like I watched a poker movie once that talked about it. So I feel like I'm an expert now. Okay. Go fish. Okay, if it's go fish, Matt is our go-to person. I'm fascinated that none of you play poker. Like no one plays poker even for fun?
I
All
play,
right, so
I play
Uno.
I play it with my friends.
made up rules,
Nicely.
not the ones they say everyone needs to use. Those guys are crazy.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean like professionally, right? I just meant like, have you ever messed around and played poker? Yeah, like I think it's fun. Okay, now you have one last problem on this. Read through it and try it. And I'm just going to leave you guys here. I don't think we need to go to breakout rooms. Try these 3. And if you finish, you can just private message me your answers and we'll see if it's right. Now, I do want all 3, fraction, decimal, and percent. Okay, and it should say that on your worksheet already. Okay, so I'm going to give you lots of minutes to do that. Okay, so when you're done, send me your answers. All right, so I know some of you are done and some of you are not done, just so you know, and I'm gonna go over it with you individually, or if we get some people on their way. So just so you know, that's all we had to cover today. Don't leave because I wanna tell you a couple things. I do have an extra worksheet. It's not required, okay? It'll be in the slides in case you want to do it, okay? Because notice, just like before, there's the problems, and then in this little box down here, there's a key. So some of you might want extra practice because you're like, these are the ones I'm not real good at. So I'm gonna try it, and then I'm gonna check my answers, okay? So that being said, keep working, and I'm gonna talk to you guys individually about like where you're stuck, if you're stuck, okay? And some of you just hadn't finished yet, okay? All right, so hold on one sec, just bear with me. If you're already finished, I'm sending you a private message right now, okay? Just so you know. The rest of you just keep working and I'll be with you in just a minute.
Sorry, I just sent that in the wrong. Don't anyone look at the chat. I just sent my answers to the wrong thing.
It's okay, no worries. People's chat is so full, they're not even looking.
Yeah, mine's probably wrong anyway, so.
Sorry, it's just hard to keep up with the chat. Just give me another minute. Okay, so some of you are done and that's fine, and I sent you a private message. Some of you are stuck on some things, and what's interesting is a lot of you are getting the same strange answer. So I want to make sure we talk about that. Sorry, Ruki, I just got yours. Okay. So on this first question, I'm going to go back to it. It says a math class consists of 25 students, 14 female and 11 male. 2 students are selected at random. Okay, so we're only selecting 2 students at random. and we want the probability that we get a male and a female. So how we're going to calculate that is we're going to do the probability of a male times the probability of a female, given that the first one was a male. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay. So first, let's do this part. What's the probability that one of the persons selected is a male? So 11, there are 11 males out of a total of 25. Is everybody okay with that? 11 out of 25. Okay. Now we're going to multiply that by the probability of a female, but given we selected that male already. Okay. So what fraction do you think that second one would be? Zevi put it in the chat. Zevi says 14 out of 24. Zevi, can you tell us why it would be 14 out of 24?
Because there's 14 female and there's 25 students, but if you already picked out a male, then you already took one away.
Does that make sense to everybody? Since we picked a student already, instead of 25, now we only have 24. So, but we still have 14 females. So is everybody okay with that? But we don't do any more because we're done, because we're only picking 2 students, right? Okay, so then when we multiply those, we get so we get 154 over 600, but that's not simplified, right? And so you need to use Desmos or your other calculator to make sure you know what you're doing. So if we clear this, we're going to do 11 out of 25 times 14 out of 24. And so there's our decimal. So our fraction is 77 over 300. Does that make sense? So some of you were really stuck on that. Okay. Does that make more sense? Matt, Josh, Lily, you okay? Annie?
Yeah, this makes more sense because I thought we had to like have like 11 and then 10 times 24 and then 13 and then yeah, like 14 and 13. Yeah, okay. That makes more sense.
So each problem is very, very different, and it's really all about reading the words that are there because it can get really tricky in just understanding the words. I think it was Lily who was asking me about part C, and we'll talk about that in just a sec. Okay, so is everybody okay with part A? And do you see where your errors are coming in? Like, is it reading carefully that you need to work on? Because that's probably the most important thing. Because the math, the calculator does for you, right? It's the thinking part that's hard. So you would get 77 over 300, which is, what do we get for a decimal? 0.2567, which is 25.7%. Does everybody see why it's 25.7%? Make sure you ask if you're having rounding difficulties. Okay, so let's try the second one. Somebody who's been super confused should volunteer to kind of talk us through it. I promise you, there's plenty of you that are confused, so we're all in the same boat, so it's totally fine. But if you're struggling, now's your opportunity to make sense of it.
I can do it.
Okay, Josh.
So this one, since there's 14 females, do 14 over 25, and then you multiply that because they're taking 2 females, it'd be 13 over 24.
How many of you agree with Josh and you know where he's getting that from? Because we're trying to get female, female, So we're doing the probability of a female times the probability of a female given that I already picked a female. How many of you agree with Josh? Nice, good job, Josh. So, and if we do that math, what did you get, Josh?
I
Or
got
any?
zero. I got 91 over 300. Then I got the decimal 0.303, I believe repeating. And then I got 30.3%.
Very nice. So 0.3033, make sure you go out 4 if I ask you to, and then 30.3%. Now, any questions on that? Judith, is that better?
Yeah, it is. I'm just like figuring out the decimals part because I think I sometimes like feel like I don't know if I put the numbers right in the decimals calculator and then I just get confused. But yeah.
All right, so let's look. Let's do 14 out of 25 times 13 out of 24. Oops. Okay, so there's our decimal, right? I don't know if I can make that bigger. There you go. And we want to go to 4 decimal places. So we have a decimal point, a 3, a 0, and a 3. Now, we know we're going to write all that down. It's just this 4th decimal place we have to worry about. So we have to decide, should that last number be a 3 or should it change to a 4? Those are our only choices. Well, since there's a 3 to the right, our rounding rules say if it's less than 5, I'm going to leave it alone. So I'm going to leave it a 3. So I'm going to write 0.3033. And then if I wanted to change it to a percent, I'm going to multiply it by 100. Oh, it didn't let me do that. What if I just hit that? Does it care? Oh, no. Hold on. I don't know how to copy my answer from here. Do you? Let's see if that works. It does not want me to paste it right there. Anyway, let's do 0.303333. And I don't have to do, too many. I can do that. And then it'll make it for you. It says, okay, that's 30 point. And if I only want to go to 1 decimal place, I'm going to go right there to 30.3%. Is that better, Judith? All right. So this last one, Lily, tell me what's wrong with that. Tell me what bothers you about that question. You unmuted for a second and then you muted again. I don't know what happened.
Sorry, no males are selected?
Yeah, you were like, that just sounds weird. I'm confused. And so my question to you was, if we're not selecting any males, who are we selecting? And you said?
Females?
Females. Okay, now here's what's funny. Isn't that exactly what we did on part B? Yeah, so it was just a tricky wording. So these 2 questions are exactly the same, even though they don't read exactly the same, right? One reads 2 females, one reads no male. It's fine, they're the same. So I'm gonna get the exact same answer. So my answers are gonna be this 91 over 300, this 0.3033, and 30.3%. Kind of tricky. Yeah, okay. So here's all my answers written out, worked out. Okay. Then, like I said, we have this extra worksheet if you want more practice. So what should you be doing today? Today, what you should be doing is finishing up your PC, or starting for some of you, doing your PC4 more practice homework. Yes? Then you should do your probability review. How many of you have started it already? Did anybody start it already? Lee did. Only Lee? Okay, so let's take a look at it. It looks like this. Okay, it looks like this. So your test, so you still have 60 minutes, even though it's not as long as the last one. So you should have plenty of time, but don't waste your time, right? Make sure you're working the whole time. And so it's going to be a little bit shorter than this review. So instead of having 4 items, I think I have 2 items on here. And then it seems like a long time since we've done odds in favor and odds against. So you might need to brush up on those things. Okay. The other thing I want to point out to you is notice on this one, I ask you for the fraction, the decimal, and percent. So make sure you practice that and show all your work. On the expected value problem, I do specify that I want you to round to 2 decimal places in the table. So make sure you follow those directions. And then we have independent, conditional, and dependent. Okay. So, and that's your whole review. Now, some of you, if you're worried about time, what you should do is first of all, finish your more homework, then get out your review. I'm totally serious. This is what you should do. Get all ready to take a test. Set a timer for 60 minutes. Fill out all the ones you know how to do without using any notes. Yes, don't use your notes. Okay, fill out as much as you can without your notes. Time how long that takes you or stop at 60 minutes. Then on the ones you didn't know how to do, highlight them or put a little star by them and then use your notes and look them up so you know how to do them. Okay, but that'll give you a good idea of how long something's taking you. Then when you come to class tomorrow, you'll have your review all done. We'll check all our answers and then we'll go over any additional ones you need help with. Okay? Questions, concerns? Okay, so I do have office hours tonight from 6 to 6:50. I also have office hours in the morning, every morning from 8 to 8:50. If that doesn't work for you and you need to meet with me, just send me an email. Josh, I sent you an email too.
Yeah, I got it. I won't be able to meet with you tonight since I'm going to be at work until like
I sent
7.
you another one.
Okay, perfect.
So just check it and let me know. Okay? All right, so last thing, your exit ticket. I will put it in the chat for you, and then you guys are all good to go. All right. There you are. I'll be here. Let me know if you have any questions, concerns.
Thank you, Miss Costin. Have a good day.
Yeah, see you later.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
So this should just be a 2 fraction problem, right?
Yep.
Okay.